I'm feeling cooped up. Feeling like Sirius Black out in Azkaban, looking out my window at the water, thinking if I can just get past these Dementors, I can go and finally kill Harry Potter. I didn't read the end of that book. I don't know. I imagine Sirius kills him. And then that's the end of the series, is that escaped murderer who definitely killed the Potters, Sirius Black. I imagine he gets out of prison and he's probably working with that scary dog, or maybe the scary dog is there to save Harry. I could buy that. The end of the novel is Sirius Black. He's got a handgun because they took away his wand at Azkaban. He's just got a gat, and he's got Harry in Hogsmeade, and he's just like, I'm gonna do you like I did your mom and dad, Harry. And Harry's like, no! And then, Arf! Giant black dog leaps across, and Sirius, bang, 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 bang. He empties the whole clip because he doesn't know how to use a gun because he's used to having a wand. So he's just like, click, 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 click. He's shooting in every direction because he's used to just being able to go like this with his wand. And he actually doesn't even manage to hit the dog at all. The dog just, I'm alive! Woof, woof. And then it gets hit by a bus. And that's a very sad moment because Harry's like, oh, you tried to sacrifice me and failed and didn't really accomplish anything. But you tried your best to sacrifice me. Oh, thank you so much, dog. They never give the dog a name. The whole Grim, I guess. Yeah. He's like, thanks, the Grim. And the dog's like, oh. And meanwhile, Sirius is just standing there looking into the pistol oh, did this? What happened? And then bang! There was one still left. It jammed. And then Harry goes, well, I guess that's another problem that kind of conveniently wrapped itself up for me, the boy who lived. Chosen one. And once again, wrapped itself up for me right in time for the end of the school year. That's gotta be a tough thing for Harry to wrap his mind around. The fact that all of his, he never solves a plot to overthrow the Wizarding World in January. It's always June. Always late spring, early summer when he's feeling was there one year when he went to school where just nothing happened and the whole he's just it's October already. I feel like we should have had some sort of banshee that's terrorizing the Enchanted Forest, or feel like there should have been maybe a house elf resistance that I had to put back in their place and teach them that they belong below us, wizard kind. He was weirdly chill about the house elves all being slaves. Hermione wasn't, which points for Hermione. But Harry was just no, yeah, there's slaves. It's fine. Whatever. Hey, you know what? They look like they're having fun down there, those house elves. No. Don't hell. This whole. I think the issue that we're running into is that we have, these woke moralist witches like Hermione. I love her. Don't get me wrong. I love Hermione. I'm her best friend. Me and Ron, we love Hermione. We love her. But you have these chronically online woke moralist witches out here, and they're speaking for the house elves for something that the house elves don't even want themselves. They don't want freedom. House elves enjoy cleaning all my dirty underwear for me in the laundries. House elves enjoy preparing all of my meals for me. House elves enjoy when I kick them down a flight of stairs, when they get into my eye line when I'm trying to walk to potions class. It's fine. It's fine. Harry Potter, he grew up to be an Auror. Yeah, that's true. Grew up to be a wizard cop. But before he got into that, he briefly had a failed podcast with some pretty problematic messaging on house elf emancipation. It was, he had to hire a PR team. He had to hire a publicist. Had to hire, he hired a personal chef and trainer. That wasn't, he just figured while I'm in the public eye so much more now, it would be nice if I looked my best. But yeah, that was a challenge for Harry when his podcast, faced backlash. And unfortunately, he did the thing that so many people do when their podcast faces backlash. Instead of, listening with an open heart and an open ear, he dug in and he was like, this is obviously those fucking dirty house elves running some kind of smear campaign against the boy who lived. I'd like to think that he still referred to himself as the boy who lived well into his 40s. Just barbecuing. Oh, Harry, that's steak's looking like it's getting a little overcooked there. You might be overhandling it. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know how to cook steak better than the boy who lived? Because that's me, the boy who lived. I live every day. I live every day, man. I'm not planning on dying anytime soon. Never gonna die. You want to know why? Because I have Horcruxes. Except I didn't just make 7 of them like that jag-off Voldemort. Hundreds. I've killed hundreds of house elves. That was just for fun. Can't even make Horcruxes out of killing house elves. You want to know why? House elves don't have souls. That's why they work for us. They're like toasters. Or goldfish. The cracker. The snack that smells back. But, yeah. Harry Potter, wildly problematic. Nothing about like any of the metatextual. I don't find anything problematic about anything to do with Harry Potter. Except there's nothing. You show me one thing connected to Harry Potter that's problematic. Go ahead. I'll wait. Oh, you found a bunch of stuff. Oh, well. Whoops. Can't win them all. I got to do a little exercising after this. I feel like I said, feeling all cooped up. That's where I started with this. I'm feeling all cooped up. I'm feeling all cooped up, and that's why house elves don't have souls and deserve to work for wizards. Don't know how I got there, but yeah, I'm gonna go and pump some iron after this because I want to be like my hero Arnold Schwarzenegger. I heard there's a video that Arnold Schwarzenegger posted to his Instagram this week where he was talking about touring Auschwitz, which there's a moment in it where he's describing all of the horrors of Auschwitz, which are horrifying. I don't know if you guys realize this. Auschwitz, bummer. And Arnold is talking about all these horrible things that happened in Auschwitz, and he's narrating it with the gravitas of both a action movie star of decades and a governor. Like, he's got gravitas when he talks about this stuff. And he's talking about all these horrible things that happened in Auschwitz and the weight of this horror that he felt when he went to learn about Auschwitz. And he's talking about the weight, and he goes, there's a weight when you walk into Auschwitz that hits you heavier than any squat. And then you remember, you're like, oh, right. Yes, gravitas of an action star and a governor, but he's a meathead. He's a bodybuilder. Like, his ability to orate tricks you into forgetting the fact that when he was 22 years old. He was like, I find this calming with the pump of the muscles is similar to the calming with the ladies. It's similar to the I feel like I'm calming in the gym and I'm calming at home and I'm calming backstage. I'm getting the pump and I'm calming and I'm pumping and I'm calming. He's a meathead and he loves working out. He loves working out. And that's okay. And that's his frame of reference. That's his frame of reference. But that kind of feels like me going to Auschwitz and going like, yeah, man, it's heavy in there. It's heavy as like a Rob Zombie song in there, man. Heavy. And now let's not talk about Auschwitz anymore. Let's make an executive decision that no more Auschwitz talk. This is a comedy podcast, ostensibly. And we've hit on enslaving house elves and Auschwitz so far. And it's been 11 minutes of that, which is a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to put out. Oh, it's heavy. It's heavy. Heavier than any squat. And that's saying something, because that guy had big thighs back in the day. People like to talk about the Arnold Schwarzenegger chest, and it's impressive. Like, don't get me wrong. You look at old photos of Arnie, and you're like, whoo! You're hard. When you see him, and you're like, oh. But the thighs. Yeah, that's the word that comes to my mind when I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger's thighs. So beautiful. So wonderful. So tasty. But I'm going to go work out after this because I want to get those Arnold Schwarzenegger thighs. I only work out legs. A lot of guys skip leg day. I really took that whole never skip leg day thing to heart. I never do anything else other than leg day. I just go in and I do squats and I do jumping jacks. And I do that thing that you see on the internet where a fella stands in front of like a podium and jumps onto it. And that's pretty much it. I don't know any other leg exercises, so those are the ones that I do. I do high knees. What's happening is Usain Bolt has been kind of dominant in the track and field running, sprinting category of the Olympics for a long time. And I think it's time to change that. I think it's time to bring the gold back where it belongs for sprinting to Canada. And so I've been working on my legs. I've put on conservatively about 65 pounds of muscle mass in the last, I'm not sure, 2 weeks. And doctors are worried, but the toughest thing is the calories. It's a lot of calories to be able to put on 87 pounds of muscle mass in 10 days exclusively in your thighs and butt. None of my calves, but doctors are worried. They're asking me, like, how are you even having time to work out? And I go, I don't work out. What I do is I have a bunch of house elves, and they move my body sort of like a puppeteer. And they move me through all of the movements of an exercise, and then they prepare a giant meal for me, and I eat that. And then I kick them down the stairs. And they're fine with it. They're fine with it. People put a lot of words into house elves' mouths, and that's not what you should put in house elves' mouths. You should put bark. That's what they eat, is just old, dry bark. And you make them eat it because they don't want to. They don't want it. They want to kind of go on a hunger strike. I don't know why, because they're so happy in their well, I don't like to use the S word. Their responsibilities. House elves aren't slaves. They just have a lot of responsibilities. And that's good. And they find fulfillment in it. Do you want to know why they've never done a sequel to Harry Potter? Because the sequel to Harry Potter is a violent and bloody revolution where all the wizards are killed by house elves. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be shown in moving pictures and magazines and newspapers. It's just people reading newspapers and it's just like the pictures that are moving are just house elves with like, full fury road, like flamethrowers. Because house elves are good at magic. Like, I don't know if you remember when old Lucius Malfoy tries to take down Dobby. Dobby fucks him up. Dobby just goes like, "You will not kill Harry Potter." And then he like atomizes him like he's Dr. Manhattan. And yet they still get no respect. Why? Why? What have wizards done to make... How are house elves in this predicament? If there's so much more... That's the tough thing, is house elves are so much stronger than elves or stronger than wizards in magic, yet they're still slaves. So... Now I'm turning into Kanye West on TMZ. That sounds like a choice to me. And they cut to the one house elf that works at TMZ, and he's just like,